This is 6 Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello and welcome to 6 Minute English. I'm Rob and Rosie joins me today. Hello, Rosie.
Hi, Rob.
Today we're talking about what can be a very stressful moment in our lives, moving house. Packing up even a small house or flat can be quite stressful and time-consuming. But imagine the upheaval involved in moving a big company or organisation.
Like the BBC World Service, maybe?
Exactly like that, because I am, of course, talking about our home Bush House in London. It's where we're speaking from now.
But not for long, because the World Service is preparing to leave the building for new purpose-built facilities in another part of London.
It's a sad time and time to reflect on what's taken place in this famous London landmark. More on that in a moment, but first it's time to set you a question, Rosie. So are you ready?
I guess so.
OK. Do you know when the construction of the first part of Bush House, we call it Centre Block, was completed? Was it A, in 1913, B, 1923, or C, 1933?
I'm going to say B, 1923.
OK, well, as usual, we'll find out the answer at the end of the programme. Now, as I mentioned, we're saying farewell to Bush House this year. The building has housed the BBC World Service since 1941, so it's been our home for 70 years. I haven't been there that long, but I still have some fond memories of the place in my relatively short time here.
It certainly has a special place in the hearts of people who have worked here, the staff. This could be because of the style of the building, with its wide marble staircases and Roman columns.
Yes, it doesn't look like a normal media centre, but that's because it wasn't designed to be one. Did you know that back in 1929 it was declared, or reported, to be the most expensive building in the world, having cost around £2 million to build?
Well, was all that money worth it? It probably was, if we listen to what some BBC staff have been saying. This producer thinks it's a special place. Listen to his reasons.
I don't know whether it's just the physical building, the bricks and mortar of Bush House, or the fact that we have a sort of United Nations of broadcasting here, but I think maybe it's a bit of both. It's not a bespoke broadcasting centre, and that's part of its charm. It's a rabbit warren of corridors and crazy modifications and things, and that's part of what makes it special, I think.
So there are two things that have made Bush House special. The physical building, that means the bricks and mortar that it has been built with, but he also suggests something else.
He says it could be the United Nations of broadcasting. He means it's a very multicultural place. There are people of all different nationalities broadcasting to all different parts of the world.
He also talked about the charm of the place. This is the character, which he says is due to not being a bespoke broadcasting centre. As we said, it wasn't originally built for radio.
But since the BBC moved in, things have been changed and added on. These are the crazy modifications he mentioned. To modify something is to change something. And did you hear how he described the corridors?
Yes, like rabbit warrens. Lots of long, dingy passages where you see producers running from office to studio.
There's one thing about Bush House that another producer has criticised or made negative comments about. See if you can work out what it is.
I love this building, every bit of it. I loved it from the very first moment I entered the building. The only thing I was unhappy about were the carpets. They were worn out, with a lot of holes, very undignified. And I thought, my God, such a beautiful building, such a fantastic organization, such awful carpets.
So he wasn't happy about the carpets. He described them as very worn out, lots of holes and very undignified, so lacking in dignity, not really representing the BBC.
It's not what he was expecting, as the building was beautiful and it was such a fantastic organisation.
Well, they do say first impressions count, and his first impression of the BBC were the awful carpets. Now, how about you, Rosie? What impression did you get when you first entered Bush House?
Well, I was in awe when I first entered Bush House because it's just so huge and very beautiful.
Well, sadly, we won't be walking into Bush House for much longer, as most of us are moving to a new state-of-the-art building somewhere else in London.
But I guess this building will remain the spiritual home of the World Service. Rob, what will you remember about this place?
Well, as you say, it's the quirkiness, all the corridors and hidden little rooms, and also the old-fashioned studios that seem to have lots of wood in them for some reason. So that's what I remember, but do you remember the question I set you today?
Yes, I do.
Good. Well, earlier I asked you if you knew when the construction of the first part of Bush House, centre block, was completed.
And I said B, 1923.
And you are right. Well done.
Yes.
The answer is indeed 1923. That's when the main part of Bush House was completed. And did you also know that Bush House was named after Irving T. Bush, who was one of the designers? It was originally built to be a World Trade Center.
Oh, I didn't know that, but that's quite incredible. I wonder what will happen to it next.
Well, I'm not really sure, actually. OK, Rosie, could you please remind us of some of the vocabulary we've heard today?
Upheaval, reflect, staff, declared, charm, bespoke, modification, criticised, undignified, state of the art.
Thanks, Rosie. Well, that's all for now, but do join us again soon for more 6-Minute English. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
That was 6 Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.